Hello, my friends. It's Andy Falco Jimenez coming to you live from Yorba Linda, California for the Andy Falco Show. It's been a while. I have really been wanting to retool the show and really get geared up for the upcoming election. So hopefully over the next 12 months or so leading up to the next election, we'll be able to get this show down into a place where it really speaks to the issues that are going to be important moving forward as we reelect the best president that we've ever had in our country. I mostly love saying that because it obviously triggers a certain aspect of our community and of our country, but it really is true. As we look and see what's happening today, we can look obviously to Israel and see how the policies of the current administration has led to what is happening in Israel. You can look and see what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. You can look and see what's happening in all the blue cities throughout our country with homelessness and crime and education, how important it is that we take this next election to a place that we've never had before and really fight against the corruption when it comes to our elections and when it comes to re-electing President Donald Trump. Now, I know there's even not Republicans. We know there's horrible Republicans. We know that there's rhinos. We know that there are Democrats that claim to be Republicans. But I'm talking about not even necessarily the Republican Party, because that party is even lost to a certain extent. The Democrats are clearly lost. I mean, that is a completely blanket statement. I have no problem saying that is completely lost. We have certainly issues in the Republican Party, but there is a segment of the conservative movement that understands what needs to happen moving forward. Now, with all that being said, back to what we're going to do here in the show is hopefully I'll be one of many voices. Obviously not the largest voice. You got to love Tucker on Twitter. Clearly not what you would call a traditional Republican. Clearly Dan Bongino, a conservative, but clearly not what would be considered a Republican per se anymore. I mean, we vote Republican because what are you going to do? Create a third party? No, because you create a third party, at least on our end, it's just going to make it impossible to elect anybody on the conservative side of things. So I know this can be confusing to some of you, but I'm just telling you that you have clearly the Democratic Party is completely lost its ever-loving mind. They are evil. It is an evil party. They have nothing good in regard to policy for our country. We got conservatives, and some of those are Republican, and then you have Republicans who knows what they are. I don't know if they're I don't know what they are, but they are completely lost. I mean, other than being the typical rhinos. Hey, Nabi, nice to see you. Nabi, a great Australian watching us here here in the United States. So glad to see you, Nabi. And so to begin the show, I want to first, those of you that are local and all of you that are watching, no matter where you're at in the United States, should be focused on what's happening at your school boards, because this is one of the places where it all starts, whether it's your city council, school board, county seats. This is where your work needs to really begin. Of course, we have the federal elections. We have a whole bunch of stuff that we need to be concerned about, but how we got to this place is because people forgot about local issues, especially when it comes to school boards, because the schools is what creates the nitwits that we currently have that are creating so many problems in our school districts, in our local governments, and then of course in our federal government. So for us locally here in the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District, tomorrow we have a school board meeting, October 10th, Tuesday for PYLUSD, and it's at 6 p.m. So try to get there, between, 6:30 and 6:45 or so to get a good seat. We have a number of issues that are going to be talked about. I know for sure we're going to be talking about things like I am going to be talking about boys dressing in the girls' room and being allowed to do so because they're claiming that it's state education code that should be able that they are following and that it should be allowed. You we obviously have been taken over by the Democrat Party here in California, and I'm going to talk about what it is that the principals in each one of these schools in PYLUSD, and obviously in all your schools and the districts that you have, that they're hiding behind, especially in California, the California Department of Education codes that are lawless, that are going against state and federal law. And I'll be talking just a little bit about that. I want to talk a little bit about Israel. I want to talk a little bit about the borders. And what was the other thing that I had on my list here? Hold on, I got to look and see because I already forgot. I think there were 4 things. Hold on, I got to get rid of my. Oh, El Dorado in particular. El Dorado School is the school that is our high school that my kids go to, and I want to talk about what's happening in El Dorado School in particular. So let me start there. So I got sent a picture of a boy dressing in the girls' bathroom into girls' clothes. Now I know everybody wants to call him a she and all this nonsense. It's a boy, and he's in the girls' bathroom dressing up in girls' clothing, and of course I get sent a picture because that's just what happens. People know that I'm particularly active in the school boards and what's happening in our schools, and so I get sent this picture of this boy, and he's not even dressed to code. If he was a girl, he's not dressed in what would be the standards set forth in our school district for a dress code. He's out of code, and so bring it up to the principal, and of course the responses. Eventually, I had to send him a second email and say, "Hey, you didn't respond." And he said, "Well, I didn't know there was a question in there because you just assumed that I would say that it's the California Department of Education code says that he has to be able to dress in the bathroom." And I said, well, that would have been the response. That should have been your response because I knew that's what you're going to say, that you were saying, I'm just following the law. Any girl that doesn't feel comfortable can go into the single use bathroom, which is in the office, was what his response is. But there's hundreds of girls in the school. So what you're trying to tell me is that you expect hundreds of girls at El Dorado School to use the single use or single bathroom in the office when they have to go to the bathroom. So you want every girl have to change their, not change, what is the word I'm looking for, to be inconvenienced, that where they would used to be able to just simply go into the girls' bathroom and go to the bathroom, change, if they're on their period, take care of business, whatever it is, that they all would be able just to simply be able to walk in to the multiple use or the multi, stall bathroom. But now, because you, principal, have decided that you want to be spineless and hide behind a lawless or an unlawful state education code and allow a boy to go into the girls' bathroom and change his clothes, because you're going to allow that. You want hundreds of girls to be inconvenienced and use the bathroom that's in the office. We have girls, and I know this for sure, over the last couple of years that this has been going on, that say, you know what, I can't even go to the bathroom. I have to hold my urine. I have to hold my bowel movement. I can't change my tampon because I'm so afraid to go into the bathroom. We know this has been going on for years. And so again, this male principal, Joey Davis, says that, no, all of you girls, the hundreds of girls, you must continue to not take care of business or use the bathroom in the office, because I, as a man, have decided that I'm going to be ballless and not stand up for you and say, you know what, state, you are off your rockers if I'm going to make all these girls not be able to use what is considered a girl's bathroom. So he has decided to do that. And so that's what's going on. They also have rampant drug use. They have sex acts happening in the bathrooms, whether it's the boys or girls bathroom. There's vaping going on, and this has been going on for a long time. They claim they have a drug dog that's going in there every so often. Who knows what that's happening? Who knows if they vetted the dog program to make sure that they're training on real narcotics? And I can go on and on about what should be done in vetting the right drug dog organization for doing this. They've not bothered. I've sent them information, and who knows whether they're doing what their due diligence to make sure that the dogs actually are working or not. But they claim they're doing stuff, but this continues to go on year after year. And it's come to a point where finally I've had to pull at least one of our kids out of the PYLUSD school district because it's just simply unsafe. And I have a feeling that more of my kids are going to follow, where we're going to have to pull more of our kids out. Now, I know many of you say, get your kids out because it's unsafe. And I can kind of give you a reasoning as to why we haven't pulled them all out, but that would make for a very long show. If you ever want to have a conversation with me about why we decided to pull out and others not yet. I believe we have some good reasons as to why. Again, I have lots of kids. I have to work. I travel a lot. And so being able to homeschool is not one of those things that we are able to do, but we've been able to take one out now because it's unsafe, especially for this particular child. And we've been able to look at ways of getting her educated in homeschooling. And so we're going to start there. And quite possibly we may go and pull others out a bit. But for sure, it is unsafe for one. Hey, Jody, nice to see you. Yes, it is ridiculous. It is completely ridiculous. Nabi, yes, so many people are so confused. So I want to go back to this now and talk a little bit more generally now a bit about the PYLUSD. Now, I do have to say, yeah, homeschooling is not for everyone. True. That is our problem. It is not something that is really possible, especially when we have 5 kids that are still in school, elementary, junior high, and high school, and to be able to do that as both of us here in, mom and dad here in this home are extremely busy, and it's difficult. So we're gonna do it for one right now. So bring this back to PYLUSD and other school districts, and this thought that that they are going to say the California Education Code says that we have to allow for certain things to be happening. The sexualization of kids, the allowing of boys and men. And I say men because my son actually is a junior. He'll be 18 as a junior and then 19 as a senior. So he will be a man. Let's say that he decided, which he's not going to, but let's just say that he decided that he wanted to be non-binary or what have you, then he would be a man in a girl's bathroom if that's what he wanted to do. And the school, according to Joey Davis, would say, well, we have to let him do that. He's a man who claims that he's non-binary, so he can go and get naked, whatever happens inside that bathroom. And I have to allow it. This is Joey Davis speaking, of course. I have to allow this man to get naked in the girl's bathroom because the California Education Code says that I have to. What a bunch of BS. Because what I want to make sure that everybody understands that they're hiding behind a code, an education code, that as far as I know, nobody goes to jail for if they decide not to follow it. Not that I know. I don't remember ever arresting, as a law enforcement officer, 21 years, I don't remember arresting anybody for a violation of an educational code. Now, schools can be in violation of an education code and it will cost them something. Who knows what that is. But what they are telling me is they're not willing to violate a code, which is not necessarily criminal per se, but they are willing to violate state law. So in state law, it is illegal for an adult to intentionally put a child in danger. I believe putting girls in danger by allowing men and boys to go into the girls' bathroom is putting girls in danger. And that's violation of this particular code. Sorry, I got to look at my notes here because I was a sex crimes detective for a number of years at Anaheim Police Department. The putting children in danger, the California Penal Code that would fall in under putting children in danger is 273A of the California Penal Code, which is expressly putting children in danger. Now we have had an issue of pornography in our schools here in the PYLUSD that continues to pop up every so often here and there. And the violation for illegally showing children sexually explicit content or making it available to them is in violation of California Penal Code section 311.1 and a 311.2. So you need to write these things down and make sure that you understand that that is a violation of state law. It is a crime to show children sexually explicit content, which we are finding that is in all of these books. The next thing that I know that happens in these schools, and that is talking and discussing sexually explicit topics to children, which happened last year in particular, where a teacher was talking about how to massage a male anally is an sexually explicit topic, and that would be in violation of Penal Code section 647.6 or 311.4 of the California Penal Code. So again, going back on my communication with the school principal at El Dorado High School, is that he's not willing to go against what would be a code, not criminal. He's not willing to go against the educational code and saying that, well, men and boys are going to be okay to dress in the girls' locker room and in the girls' bathroom, but they are willing to go against criminal law, which we should be placing these teachers, these school principals, any other adult who is in a position of leadership at a school, we should be holding them responsible and placing them under arrest, private person's arrest. We could do that. You can call Placentia Police Department, the Orange County Sheriff's Department, Anaheim Police Department. These are all departments that are in the different schools that are within our district, and placing these principals and teachers under private person's arrest for any one of these codes that we feel is violated. You can do that and be the responsible party for those violations. Char Marie is on. She says, hi, hello, Char, nice to see you. We got Jody Salazar again speaking up here. She says, former LAPD officer, and I worked the juvenile patrol, worked child abuse, and this is all abuse to kids. Absolutely, Jody. I too, over there at Anaheim Police Department, was in sex crimes, and I have arrested people for these very crimes and put them in jail. And these are things that are happening in our schools. These are things that people like Joey Davis and other teachers are allowing to happen in our schools and really just don't seem to care. And so we need to be really looking at how it is that we can do that. The next thing I want to bring up in regard to this point when it comes to our school district is that when they are saying that they are going to follow these organizations, you have to understand that the CTA, the California Teachers Association, the NEA, the National Educators Association, the APLE, which is the Association of Placentia Linda Educators, which is also known as APPLE, these are all teachers unions that have a hand in guiding the steps of the CDE, the California Department of Education. It is equivalent to Iran. What Iran is to Hamas. All right, Iran tells Hamas what to do. Iran provides Hamas with the money and the support to make sure that the laws are created and written as the CTA and the NEA want them to be written. So again, the equivalent is Iran to Hamas, the NEA, the CTA, and the APLE, and all the other smaller teachers unions are to the Department of Education here in the state of California. So these are all organizations working together. And so what you have is a principal or principals, because you have the other principals that are doing the same thing. You have some school board members, you have some aspects of our leadership in our school district saying, well, we have to follow with this cabal of teachers unions and the California Department of Education. We have to follow what they're doing. But what they're doing is they're following an organization that is, this is what's happening in our schools. So in California, only 47% of the students that are in this, that are stuck in this public school system, this cabal, is that they're so busy with these other things that in English, only 47% of them, of the students, are proficient. Even worse in math, 33% of the students are proficient in math. And so these leaders in our schools, principals, vice principals, superintendents, and school board members are saying, well, we are following this organization that all they care about is the education of our kids. Oh, really? You really think that our kids that are only achieving this low amount of percentage of being able to read and do math and write and all these things, you really believe that you're doing the right thing and following these organizations who care nothing about education and only about the sexualization of our kids, a criminal act, and you are willing to do nothing about it? And you say, Andy, how can you say that about the CTA? How can you say that about the NEA? Because I can say that because they are actively doing it. Here's a badge that they create that says, I'm here, that they give the teachers and offer to teachers. They want all, this is from their website. You see in the background are lockers, which they don't even have anymore in most schools, but they have these badges that they want their members, see the NEA member benefits, is they want them to follow this QR code here on the right. That QR code on the right is what you will follow to order your own badges. What is that badge right there with the triangle on it? They covered it up so you can't scan it, but I got one. And you can scan that now if you want to. Take your phone, if you're probably watching on your phone, but maybe take a screenshot using your phone right now. So you'll have that code, but eventually scan that code so that you can see where the NEA and the CTA want you to go to, and the APLE for that matter, because they are a sponsor of this particular website that I'm going to show you in just 1 second. This is the code. I'm leaving it up there for a little while. So those of you that are finding a way to either take a screenshot, or if you want to take put your phone camera up there and scan that code and see where it'll go to, it'll go here. This is where it's going to go. It goes to this website. This website is where they teach teachers. This is for teachers to indoctrinate your children on all this nonsense. You see there on the left-hand side of your screen, near my picture where it says CTA, that's the California Teachers Association. As you can see there, the NEA is the National Educators Association. These are people that are all in. Now, the APLE used to be on here. Let me see if I can find where that will show up. You can see, yeah, there's areas here if you click around the website. Where is it? Resources. Book lists. Yeah, the APLE used to show up there. It isn't. They've gone in and they've taken off some of the more horrendous things off of there, so you don't see it any longer. But it's still being updated. You see here, they have an event coming up here, January 5th, 2024. So you can see that they still actively update this website. This is the NEA website. And right now I'm going to show you the CTA website, which is here we go. This is a CTA website. The California Teachers Association Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer Caucus. And it has a list of books here. And these are all the books that they want to get into the libraries. Here, let me just click on the very first one. The very first one is going to take you here. Oops. Oh, they just took it off those. Wait a minute. Let me click on it one more time. Let me see if it'll take it to the. Oh, there we go. All Boys Aren't Blue. These are the great books that they want to put in the libraries. This has pornography in it. Pastor Jack Hibbs read this on his podcast. If you've not gone to Pastor Jack Hibbs' podcast and listened to his show that he did entirely on these books that they're trying to get, they are getting into schools. Many of them are in red states too. So if you're going to Tennessee, Florida, Texas, these are in your schools too. Don't think that by going there, you're safe. Gender Queer, that's another one. Lawn Boy. These are all books that were on Pastor Jack Hibbs' podcast the other day, and you will find that they all are full of pornography. And in that that code, which code is that for pornography in schools? Sexually explicit content. That is California Penal Code Section 311.1 and 311.2. It is not allowed by state law. And if they are discussing it with your children, it is in violation of 647.6 and 311.4. And those are some of the things, again, that you need to be aware of. So coming back to this website, these are the organizations that they are saying that they are following this law, or not even a law, this code that is forcing them to allow boys to be in the bathrooms and to be in the girls' locker rooms. All right. So you have to understand, and I just really want you to understand why I'm bringing this up to you is because their fallback is on this code of the state of California education, Association. No, what is it? State Board of Education. There you go, State Board of Education. And the CTA and the NEA, these are cabals of terrorism on our children. Just again, like Iran is to Hamas. It is no different. And if they even brought the standards up of our children up to where they were able to read up to 50% on all those things, that still would be wrong, right? Let's just say only 50% of the kids were reading at a grade level or doing math at the grade level that they're at. That still is horrific. They are well under the 50% and yet walking around like they're doing something positive. They're walking around like, well, we have to follow them because they're doing such a great job of education. We have to make sure that boys dressed in the girls' locker room. We have to make sure that boys are allowed to in sports to play against our girls. We have to allow that because look at what they're doing with education. No, they don't even have that. They have no education going on in these schools, and yet they're saying they have to follow these morons that could care less about your kids. They could care less. How do I know? I just showed you. It is truly remarkable that we have a school principal like Joey Davis saying, well, it's the California Education Code that I'm following because they're doing such a great job in every other area with kids. No, you moron, you hack, you spineless man. And that's the thing, right? You really got to look at that. We have men in charge of these schools, many of these schools, that their job is to protect girls. Their job is to protect women in our society. And they are doing none of it. They're not even protecting the people, the children that are confused. Why would you want to put a boy who is clearly confused into a situation where he can get his ass kicked by a bunch of girls or by the boyfriends of the girls? Why are we doing this? You're protecting nobody. It's just like saying at the border, we have to have open borders because it's more humane than having closed borders. Have you seen what's going on at the borders? None of that is humane. You got children dying because their parents are forcing them to swim across the river. You got parents, or not even parents, you have adults who have either stole the child or have paid for the child and forcing them to crawl under the razor wire. And they're crying as they're pushing them under this razor wire. We've seen videos of them throwing them over the wall and dropping them down on the other side. You're telling me that an open borders policy is more humane? No, it's the same stupid logic. It's the same stupid logic that we're going to give Iran $6 billion because they said they're going to use it for humanitarian needs and claim that they're not going to use it for terrorism. And then a week later, what do? They terrorize Israel and shoot innocent people that are just simply at a rave dancing, shoot them in the back as they're running away. These are all the same moron, incompetent people that we are simply being forced to follow. And we have to make these changes. You got to call them out and say, no, you will not follow the California Department of Education because they're being run by a bunch of morons. We have criminal law that we must follow. Criminal law says that we will not put girls in danger and allow boys and men to dress in the girls' bathrooms. We will not have children be sexualized by these teachers and allow them to talk about sexual topics in their classes. No, we will not allow, because it is against the law to do that. Who cares if it's against the California Education Code? We really need to just open up our eyes and get back. So back to, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't go too far off topic, but I'm just get so angered by this whole thing. But tomorrow we got a school board meeting, Tuesday, October 10th at 6 p.m. here at the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. For your school district in your area, wherever you are, if you're in the OUSD, the Orange Unified School District, you need to go there and speak out. Chino Valley, Temecula, LA. Oh my gosh, LA is lost all week long. I think it's this week, or maybe it's all month. They're having coming out month at LAUSD, and that is actually found. Let me see if I can find it. It is actually it was created by the CTA, and I saw it on here somewhere where they had all kinds of resources that people could use. Where is that? Oh man, I can't find it. Well, let me show you this. They have a big conference coming up if you want to go in Palm Springs for the LGBTQ issues conference. That's the actual conference. 2023, October 27th through the 29th in Palm Springs. Where else would they have it but in Palm Springs? CTA is proud to present the 15th annual CTA conference addressing LGBTQ issues involving educators, students, and the community. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you. Hold on. Here's the books, list of books. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it. And let me see if I can make it a little bit. There we go. Oh, it's only a little bit bigger. But all of these books. So all of these books are gender diversity books. All right. You've got something called 26 Fairmont Avenue, ages 5 to 8. Ages 5 to 8, kindergarten to what is that? 5th grade, something like that. 10,000 dresses, ages 5 plus. The Adventures of Tulip Birthday Wish Fairy, and that is for ages 3 to 8. Ages 4 plus for Amazing Grace. Are you a boy or a girl? This is for children 4 to 8. Avocado Boy, genderless baby grows very strong, eating avocados. That's for preschool to K, preschool to kindergarten. Are you kidding me? These are the books that your teachers are being given by the CTA to encourage them to put these in their classrooms. This is about Some Boys Don't Dance, has to do with ballerina or something like that. Ages 4 plus. Be Who You Are, ages 7 plus. The Boy Who Cried, Fabulous, ages 4 plus. The Boy with Pink Hair, ages 3 plus. Ages 3. These are all books for elementary school kids, 2 to 5. Fire Engine for Ruthie, 2 to 5. I got to calm down because I'm getting so pissed right now. These are all books for children that they are promoting there for your kids. And that is your California Teachers Association. This is the Iran to the Hamas for our California Education Department, the Department of Education. Sorry, so many acronyms here. I can't keep them all straight. All right. So I'm going to leave that topic. So just understand what's happening here. Understand that we have made a lot of strides here, especially here in the PYLUSD. We have a majority conservative board on our school board. We have a great superintendent. He's doing a fantastic job, but he doesn't have enough fingers to plug all the holes right now, and he's doing his very best. He's making a whole bunch of changes. Unfortunately, we have a bunch of leftover principals that are still part of this mindset that we need to sexualize kids and we need to move them out. And it's got to be difficult because there's so many union laws and issues. The teacher that was talking about massaging the anal cavity last year and how to pleasure a boy, and she was telling you how to do it and telling you where to get vibrators at Target and some other places. They couldn't even fire her. She's still working in the school district. And I just can't imagine how difficult it is to get some of these things done. It's crazy. But he's doing a great job. I just want you to know that our superintendent, Alex Chernus, is doing a fantastic job. And he's even gotten rid of some of the other assistant superintendents and has replaced them with some really fantastic people. But there's hundreds and hundreds of employees that it's not easy. And I know I feel bad when I send them a really lengthy email because they go, oh, there's another email from Andy. I know that's what happens. But anyway, he's doing a great job. Nicole says, I can't believe these book titles you're reading out loud. This is insanity. It absolutely is. These are active. These are brand new. These are lists that are currently going out to the teachers. These are lists that are being pushed by the California Teachers Association, the National Education Association, the APLE, and all the other smaller teachers unions, and they don't care. It's on their websites. The websites, I think I have a couple of them, but follow that QR code that I put up there earlier. All right, so I want to talk about a couple of things. I talked about the border a little bit, and we are just simply in deep trouble with this border, and they are not going to build a wall, even though he says that they've been ordered to do so. And the nitwit press secretary, who has got to be the worst press secretary that we've ever had. I mean, everything. We have a lot of firsts here in this administration. The worst at everything. The worst incompetent people in every aspect of our government currently, federally, and in this state, by the way. And they have no intention of building any part of the wall that's going to stop anything that's going on. They will keep that border open as long as possible. But we have terrorists coming across. We have fentanyl coming across. And I am only talking about it because you probably already know this, but you have to know that we are in deep, deep trouble, at least over the next year. And I'm just telling you to keep your guard up, to understand that this is not going to change. Don't fall for the trick that they're going to suddenly build this wall overnight and it's going to stop everything. As you know, that is not going to happen. And it is going to lead to nothing but more crime and more death in our country. So I just want to make sure that you understand that some of you, and I'm sure it's none of the people that I know that watch this show on a regular basis, that you think that, well, they're going to build a wall and everything's no, it's not going to be fine. They're not going to build any part of the wall that's going to stop anything if they build any of the wall at all. And so that's just not something that's going to happen. The reason I bring that up before bringing up Israel is because what we see happening in Israel is a sign of where our world, including our world here in the United States of America, is headed. And last week they tested FEMA tested the emergency response system, and it wasn't just us; it was across the world. That personalities like Dan Bongino were saying that when that happened, that was a sign that they were concerned about something big that is going to be happening, or a concern that something might be happening. And then we had what's happening in Israel. And that could be just the first of many things that are going to be happening in regard to terrorism across our world. So it's just be aware. Make sure your weapons are clean. Make sure you have all the things that you need in place to make sure and take care of you and your family, and just be aware of what's happening, and don't let your guard down, and just be prepared. There's one aspect of Israel that I find myself slightly concerned with, and I'm not sure how to reconcile it in my heart and in my mind, and that is that Nikki Haley and some of the other people. Many of you that watch this may be Christian, because my wife and I do a Christian show called the Living Fearless Devotional, and some of you may be watching this as a Christian, or you may know me from law enforcement because I was a police officer 21 years, and I have a lot of friends that are still in law enforcement or retired law enforcement. And I heard Nikki Haley and a few other people say, you know what, we need to, you telling Israel, and maybe even the United States, is we need to go into the Gaza Strip, or we need to go wherever these terrorists are and just destroy every aspect of their land and just burn it all down. And that's what I felt that Nikki Haley was saying. And I don't, there's something about her I just don't like. And I could go on to some other things that she said, and how she talks about President Trump and some other stuff. But there's other things. There's just something about her, that this warmongering feeling I have from her, and that what I've heard about her is that that's not who we are. And that's the problem. That's the part I have reconciled. I know these people, when 9/11 happened, and I've talked about my wife about this because she's former Muslim, and I've talked to her, and we've talked about how I felt about those folks who were in the Muslim faith, or that were in Islam, and many of us weren't sure, because we just really didn't pay much attention of what it meant to be Muslim. And now I know that there are certain different sects of Islam. Some are more likely to be terrorists. Others are loving people. And so to say that you're going to wipe out the whole Muslim faith or you're going to wipe out Islam is, again, it has to, I would hope, give you as a Christian an uneasy feeling of like, wait. That's not who we are. As a police officer, we had to understand that our job was to arrest the bad guys, not kill every bad guy that we came across, right? That our job is, even if they are actively violent, that we just can't simply go out there and kill everybody. We just can't go out there and harm everybody past the extent that it takes to arrest somebody and put them in jail. That we have a different moral obligation. We have a job to do, but it is not to take things so personally that we now become punisher. Now, there's certainly times like with a child molester that we think, you know what, a little extra noogie here and there won't hurt. Well, it'll hurt him, but it won't hurt us. And it won't hurt my conscience if I do that. When we were looking for Ramirez, what was his, the Night Stalker. When we were out there looking for the Night Stalker, I know that many of us thought as soon as we see him, we are killing him. And we had that in our head. But I know in the end, as what happened, he was arrested and taken to jail. He wasn't murdered at the hands of law enforcement, because that is not our job. Our job is to bring peace, to arrest and bring people before a court. And I also believe that even when we are attacked, as we were on 9/11, or as Israel is now by Hamas, is that the response is of a moral nature. Now, I know I'm going to have people that are probably like, no, you got to go there and wipe them all out. Really, do we go out there and wipe out the children? Do we go over there and wipe out the elderly? Do we go out there and wipe out the wives of the men who are the terrorists, even though the wives don't agree with what their husbands are doing? These are the things that I struggle with when I hear somebody like Nikki Haley says, we need to go over there and just wipe them out. Now, whether she meant wipe everybody out or wipe the terrorists out, she didn't make that distinction. And I think sometimes we, in our rhetoric and in our speech, that we can be a little too heavy-handed. And this is just coming off of what I was just saying about what happens at the school. No, we need to fire every person who is taking part in sexualizing our kids. Yes, we need to take every one of them out. And will that affect their family? Yes. Well, they should have thought about that before they decided they were going to sexualize our kids. Right? That's not my problem. My problem is them. They need to be fired. They can find a different job. They should not be educating children if they want to sexualize children. They can go and be a plumber. They can go and be involved in construction, but they have no place in educating our kids. I'm not telling you that we necessarily destroy them or kill them. I'm saying they no longer should be educators if they want to sexualize kids. Now, when it comes to terrorists, we take out the terrorists. Now, when we take out the terrorists, will that affect the family? Yes, but they can find another husband. What Nikki Haley sounded like to me that she wanted, and some other people that I've heard, is that they want to wipe out everybody, kill everybody that lives in the particular area of the Gaza Strip there, out there in Palestine, or kill all the Palestinians. That's what it sounds like to me. And I'm cautioning people to be careful what it is that you are calling for. I think that we need to kind of understand that we are the United States of America because we knew when to stop. Now, we came very close in Japan, didn't we? That's where we can go and say, you know what, maybe what we did accomplished the end of World War II, positive, but that was pretty gnarly to go over there and bomb a city and take out. And you see the picture, right? The pictures that we see are the ones of the children with their clothes burned off and their skin burned off of their body. That's kind of the thing that we want to not do again if we can help it. And I think we should really think about that type of thing. when we're talking about retaliation for something. So I just want to leave you with that. And I know that we want to take out and we want to destroy those people that went into that dance and just shot people in the back. They deserve nothing but death. However, we got to be careful about what it is we call our military to do. If we are going to use our military, or even Israel's military to do, is like, yes, are there going to be casualties in these cities when we bomb the area that they have a cache of weapons and missiles? Is there a chance that we will take out some families? Yes, that is just a fact of war. But do we want to purposely go into a school and wipe out a school just because it happens to be in the city where the terrorists came? Those are two different things. And we really need to be a little bit more careful as we talk about some of those things and bring those up. But I'm open to discussion on that and open to hear more. But it's just something that kind of hit me as I was preparing for the show and hearing some people speak on some of the shows that I watch and some of the things that are being said on Telegram and some other stuff. One last thing before I leave you is that if you want to see what's happening over there in Israel, because quite often the networks of even Fox will not show what's truly happening in Israel. And if you really want to get pissed and see what's happening, and again, keep your focus on the terrorists, the men in most cases, I think it's almost always men, right, that are doing this are evil. The raping of girls, the shooting of the elderly, one that I heard of was a Holocaust survivor, some 90 years old, they shot her in the head. Though that's evil. Those people need to be taken out, and who cares? And so those things do need to be seen. You need to know what's going on over there. I would go to Telegram and follow Amir Safardi and Jack Posobiec. Those are two Telegram accounts that I think you will see exactly what's happening over there in Israel, and they're worth spending a little bit of time and just educating yourself on what's happening. All right, my friends, that's the show for today. And again, I hope to be doing these a little bit more often and keeping you up to date on what's happening, in particular here locally, and then taking you out nationally and worldwide as we continue the show. All right, my friends, hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope it didn't get too over the top for you. All right, my friends, love you guys. God bless. Take care. Bye.